Hey guys, Dr. Ben here. Welcome to a Power Pack Brokerpreneur Byte. Get ready to dive into proven strategies for recruiting top talent, retaining your best agents, and skyrocketing sales in the next 10 minutes. I'm your host, of course, Dr. Ben Spears, along with our real estate guru, Matt Vi. Join us as we unravel the secrets to take your brokerage to new heights. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of the Recruiting Podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Matt Vi. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing fantastic, Dr. Ben Spears. You doing great?
I'm doing great. And this literally, we're doing this one early in the morning. So this really was the first time that I asked you today, hey Matt, how's it going? How you doing?
Right. Literally the first time.
Right? Why is it that every podcast, like people always start with that?
What? Hey, how are you doing?
Is this rapport build? Like you and I have enough rapport. I don't need to build rapport with you, but why do I?
That's a great. I think it's maybe because there's other people. It might be that this might be the first podcast that they're listening to.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the way of how we accept and how the salutation of how we begin conversations with people. And so it might be the first time you've met them. So it's kind of like, hey, this is the first chance to get to know and all that kind of stuff. Because you can't just jump right in. We can't go, hey, welcome to this recruiting podcast. You're a liar because you whatever. Right?
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things. There may be people out there who actually care about how you're doing.
Wow. Well, Ben, I actually care about how you're doing. And why is it that you? Why
I care too the first time,
but not the 96th
right?
time.
But like 30 minutes later when I ask you again because we're recording, like I already know.
Hey, everybody in podcast land, who's the one that's not empathetic now? I think
exactly. Zero. It's Sasquatch.
That's right.
So this is going to be. I say this a lot, right? It's going to be my favorite podcast. This one honestly might be, my favorite one, right?
Yeah, we'll dig into why in just a minute of why it's one of his favorites. But I would think that we've had some fun ones. We've had some that, that we absolutely love. We Encantar'd, right?
Yeah, Encantar was great. We've had some amazing guests.
Oh, absolutely. Some incredible guests. But this one really cuts to the thick of it. And I think the reason why we like this one so much is this is really about me and you. Right?
Yes, very much so.
And so, I can't wait to dig into that. But just a second ago, I threw it out there. I said I made a joke about you're a liar, and the reason why is because we did a podcast about stop being a liar. Okay, and so I'm not sure if that one will drop before this one or whatever it is, right? So we'll get all that figured out. But what a great podcast that one is too. So that was still stuck in my brain. So
yeah, guys, make sure you go check that one out. So, let's all get snuggled up in our blankets,
right? Cozy fireplace.
And let's start this podcast, man, with a little story
about a man named Jed.
Right, about a man named Jed, a poor broker
who barely kept his office fed.
So guys, today we're going to be talking about you may have seen this on our website or whatever, specifically what is and how did it come to be a brokerpreneur?
Yeah.
Right. And I'm gonna let Matt, take a little bit of this story. I'm definitely gonna chime in, like I do. But Matt, we were talking to some coaching clients and just really communicating with brokers across the country.
Yep.
And we started seeing patterns.
Right.
Let's talk about that.
So the cool part about this is it was from the beginning of us working together. It was kind of there. It just hadn't been labeled yet. We were seeing it, and we knew it was happening, and we were trying to figure out exactly. We were trying to pinpoint it, right? Yep. We were trying to label it because we wanted to make sure that we could actually attack the topic, attack the conversation, attack the problem that people were having. But in order to do that, we kind of had to isolate it. Right?
Yep, exactly.
And so, in order to isolate it, we needed to kind of put a label on it, and we struggled with that, right? We struggled with putting a label on it, and so we were talking as we were putting the some of the information together, and like you said, we were talking to people all across the country, and they kept saying the same thing. And here's kind of it collectively in a nutshell, which got us to this point. They loved being a real estate agent, but they knew they needed to take that next step. Okay, part of the reason why they love being a real estate agent, and they wanted to take that next step, and they knew that being a broker owner was not just a new license, right? So they knew they wanted to take that step, but they didn't want to let go of that spirit, that entrepreneurial spirit that they had that kind of drove them to the business. But they couldn't just be a real estate entrepreneur. and run a successful brokerage, right?
Correct.
Because then you're just, there's no need doing that. Don't go get your license and go through all the headache and hassle of being a broker and the money and all that kind of stuff to not really run a brokerage.
Yeah.
Is what we were hearing from them.
Yeah,
right?
and real estate agent brokerpreneur, that's just too long.
It is. It's too long of a name, right?
Too long.
Brokerpreneur is almost too long, but that is way too long.
Yeah, we checked. It's 2 letters under the minimum.
That's right. It meets the threshold.
It meets the threshold. But real estate agent brokerpreneur, right?
Doesn't.
Yeah, it just
way
it
too many
just-
letters. I don't even know how many letters that is. That's worse than supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yeah, and I love
Which
what
Ben
you're
can spell that, by the way. If you guys didn't know that out there in podcast land, Ben can spell that.
So maybe I can. I've never tried. So I appreciate the vote of confidence there. But I like what you were saying about the entrepreneurial spirit, because it's like a calling,
Right.
right? It doesn't mean, right? It's not like everybody was born an entrepreneur,
Right.
right? There's some people who get their real estate license and they're an agent like from beginning to end,
Right.
And they crush it and they kill it and they're like, no, this is as far as I need to go or want to go, and I am just a happy camper.
Right.
But there are those entrepreneurs, those brokerpreneurs out there who are just like, they're always looking for that next thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
That next level, which we'll talk about levels and phases in a few minutes.
Yep, absolutely. They're always looking for that next thing. It is absolutely a calling. Let's start by
let's finish. So let's get back. Let's finish the story, right?
Yeah.
So we're, and I know we want to dig in. So that's how he is when he loves the topic, guys. He just wants to dive right in. He won't even let me finish my story.
Sure, I thought you were doing. He's from Georgia, guys. Everything's a damn story.
That's right.
Go ahead, Matt.
Thank you, Ben. So, so as we're talking to all of these people, we kept hearing the same thing, and there was a common theme with all of them, and we had to get them to acknowledge what that theme was in order to be able to help them.
Yep.
Because if we couldn't get them to say, here exactly where I am, it's hard to figure out what that next step is with them, what that next phase is that they're going into. And so we came up with, we were talking, and Ben said it. Ben said, they're brokerpreneurs, and I was like, oh my gosh! And as soon as he said it, we thought of like 30 people.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
That were just like, that's exactly where they're at. They're at that place that they want to hold on to what an entrepreneur is. They know they have to take those broker steps, and so we had to try this out, right? So we were on a phone call with someone, and they were telling us kind of where they were with what they were in their business and everything, and we said, yeah, we call that you're in kind of that middle phase of being a brokerpreneur. You want to take that next step, and immediately, because it was a Zoom call,
yep.
So immediately we could tell that it struck with that person, it resonated with that person, and as soon as we did that, Ben and I kind of looked at each other and were like, we can help now, right?
Exactly.
We can get everybody on the same page, see exactly where they're at, and so that's where the word brokerpreneur actually came from. But let's dig into what it to us what it actually means, right?
Yeah. So, I'll ask you to start, right? So, we're going to basically define what we would call a broker. And we're going to define what we would call an entrepreneur, and we're going to bring those together and build an avatar right in front of your own ears,
right,
right in front of your own ears of what a brokerpreneur looks like. So Matt, I'll let you take broker.
Right. So a broker isn't it's not just a license, right? We know it's not just a license. Okay, if it should be an experience level. Okay,
yeah.
It's not always, but it should be an experience level.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is, if you're a great agent that has worked through a lot of transactions, you know that there are certain things that can consistently happen in the transactions that are problems that if you can see them coming, you can cut them off at the pass. That's part of what a broker is. A broker has that experience level so that they can help certain problems not happen. So they also do have that skill set so that whenever a problem does arise, whenever that does come up, they know how to navigate through that, right? So I tell people whenever I'm recruiting them, right? So it's, office 1,000 units a year, something like that. I've been doing this 20 years. I've had like 5 instances where I've had to use errors and omissions insurance, okay?
Yep.
And so, out of that many transactions, only having to use errors and omissions insurance that many times, That's kind of a big deal, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, and the reason why is, one, I hire the right people, but two, I also navigate through those issues. The reason why I do that is because I take being a broker serious. I look at it as a leadership position that helps solve problems when they come up and helps avoid problems if we can, so that way they don't ever surface.
Yep.
Being experienced in the business to help do that. Then there's the running the business side, right? And that's where that entrepreneur part falls into it, because you can't just be great at solving problems, because let me point this out, and then I want you to talk about being an entrepreneur. If I'm great at solving problems, and I'm great at helping the agent not get into those bad situations, and that's the only thing that I'm great at, what am I going to spend my day doing? Exactly that.
Yes.
Who am I going to hire? People that's exactly what they want.
Yeah.
So literally, do I get to grow? Does my company get to grow? No.
No, you're all staying the same.
That's exactly right. And the reason why we're all staying the same is because all I'm doing is dealing with God a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not actually running the business part, right?